This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by former world champion and now farting machine, Carl Frampton, here in Manchester. Carl, how are you doing?
All right, that went better than I thought. I didn't think it was going to be that loud.
I was going to say, Carl, that's certainly something which I think many people will go back.
People will think I done that with my mouth, like it wasn't a real fart. It was that good. It was one of the best farts I've ever done.
I think you meant to say farting machine then, not fighting machine.
You said farting machine?
You said fighting machine.
I said
fighting machine.
Carl, obviously we're back in the gym now. How does it feel to be able to come back over and get back into the swing of things?
It's been good, mate. I've been here for, I think this is it my 5th or 6th week now, Jimmy? 6th week now, so and I had been taking over at home. I've got a basic gym in my garage, hitting a bag, doing loads of miles on the road, but it's good to get back amongst the boys and get kind of switched on and locked in for a fight, which we don't have really yet. It's still not confirmed, but it's looking like early to mid August.
How much have you missed it? How much does it kind of make you appreciate your life away from obviously your family and your work now with boxing, being able to come back into the gym?
It's always difficult, mate, isn't it, being away from your family? But there's people in other jobs that are having to travel and go away from their family. I have a friend who works on the rigs and off the coast of Aberdeen, and he's away for 2 weeks at a time and then 2 weeks at home, so he misses his kids a lot as well. So it's just part and parcel of it, but it makes it easier for me to be here. And when I was with my former team, it was a struggle. I didn't enjoy London. I didn't like London. It's not really, it's just not, I don't know, there's no real similarities between London and Belfast, apart from they're two capital cities, but that's where it ends really. I love Manchester. I love being around the boys, very similar to back home. And the last sort of 3 years, and I'll be approaching 3 years, I've been linked with Jamie. Have been the best 3 years of my career.
3 years, time flies.
Yeah, we were just talking about it the other day. It doesn't seem like that, but yeah, time does fly, and I've enjoyed linking up with all the boys.
Now, obviously, you just mentioned you haven't got a fight date officially set yet, but Jamie's mentioned, you mentioned yourself that you're kind of working on something. When and where can we expect to see you back out then?
When early to mid-August, where I think the BT Studios is where Warren's having the shows. It's going to be in conjunction with Top Rank as well, obviously, and on the ESPN in the States. That's pretty much all I know at the minute. So hopefully, like we're talking like the next couple of days here, maybe tonight get something confirmed.
It seems like I've come up on the wrong day, Carl.
Yeah. Tomorrow might have been a different one, yeah.
It's alright, I might have a drive up again tomorrow, Carl, if it's announced.
Yeah.
Obviously, it seems to be at the minute that it's all kind of domestic clashes. What level of opposition do you anticipate your fight back in will be with?
I don't think it's not going to be a domestic guy. It's going to be a European, most likely. But I can't say too much. The guy that they're looking at, although his record doesn't look like a killer, you'll see when it comes out. It's a tough fight. It's not an easy fight. In no means a takeover. It's a fight that it's going to be tough, and I'll need to be on my game to win. So I can't for a second look at it as a takeover. So I'm not, and that's why I've been away for so long and I've been training so hard. But this guy has kind of just been put on us the last few days. We're running out of options, really. A lot of people have turned the fight down. It's a difficult enough fight, but yeah, I'll just need to be ready for it, and hopefully the Jamel Herring fight comes off after it.
Obviously, making it clear there just how difficult a fight your next one will be before Herring. Every fight at the minute is behind closed doors. How do you feel that you will kind of take to that, because I know how big of a support you have at your shows?
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be easy, but we're all in the same boat. Everyone's fighting behind closed doors, so obviously I'm used to decent crowds, even when I fight away from home. But it's just what we have to do. The other guy's going to be fighting in front of very few people as well. Although it's a long time since I was an amateur. I travelled the world for representing Ireland, and I fought in front of, sometimes in these kind of multi-nation tournaments in Eastern European countries and stuff, in front of 100 people or less. So I'll be okay.
Let's obviously touch on as well that Jamal Herring fight. Jamal's actually fighting, I think it's Tuesday or Thursday next week against Jonathan Oquendo. I'm sure you'll be keeping a close eye on it, but what do you make of that fight?
Again, it's not a bad fight. I think that Herring will beat Oquendo. It's a fight that you expect under these circumstances. It's not. I don't think it's going to be a life and death for Jamal. I think he will win the fight, but Oquendo's not a bad fighter. So I think that, you know, I see a few people giving stick and stuff to Jamal Herring, but under the circumstances, I don't think it's a bad fight at all.
Obviously, you know that you're very keen to get that Herring fight over the line for the end of this year. If you could put a kind of time frame on it, though, when do you think we would expect to see?
Well, I don't know. It's a guessing game, really. I would love to get out before the end of the year. It's always great to get a fight just in before Christmas and then enjoy Christmas with the kids and stuff, but if it has to be early next year, I'm used to that as well. I've seen like a lot of my career, I've ended up fighting in January and February, so I'm used to training over Christmas, but preferably before the end of the year. If not, it's no big deal.
Carl, away from yourself, just a couple of guys in the gym, I wanted to quickly touch on Aqib Fiaz. I know you've just had a sparring session there with him. He's facing Kane Baker on August 7th. How's Aqib been looking ahead of that fight?
He's a great kid, really is. He's in here every day, he's learning, he's watching, he's picking up different things. We used Aqib when I fought Warrington, so getting ready for the Warrington fight, and the idea was Warrington style, you know, pressure fighter, throws a lot of punches, get like an amateur in for 4 rounds and get a few of them in and keep firing them in and out. This kid came down and he was 17 at the time and punched my head in the first time. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, who is this lad? I haven't been beat up by a kid in years. And yeah, we've got a great relationship. I brought him to camps to Philly and Vegas as well. He's helped me out. He can replicate sparring partners as well, so he can work on different things. And Jamie's got him doing a bit of southpaw work as well now. But he's very young, very, very talented, and I feel like he'll do big things in the sport. Really switched on kid, and he's dedicated. He doesn't go off the rails and mess about. He lives the life already, which is a good sign.
For someone who's so young, he's only 20, to have such a mature kind of state of mind and the way that he goes about his business, does it surprise you at all? Because it could be very easy for people when they are in the gym with yourself and Martin Murray, Rocky Fielding, Jack Cattrall, many others who have all achieved a lot in the sport, to kind of stray away from it and think they're further along in their careers than what they are. Does it surprise you by just how switched on and concentrated he stayed?
Well, it surprises me when you remind me that he's only 20. That surprises me that how young he is, and he's still got a load of years left in this game. But he's very, very mature for his age, and just being around him, like, I think he's got a good family at home who will keep him grounded too. He's got a brother, Sam, who can help him out on the pads and stuff as well. He's got everything he needs, really. A good grounded kind of background, good grounded people in the gym here, and I think he's got all the ingredients to go to the very top. I'm not just saying that because he's part of the gym, but the first time I seen him, and literally he came and sparred me as a kid, and when I say he beat me up, he beat me up. That's not me spoofing. He's got it all.
What do you make of his fight with Kane Baker? How exactly do you see it playing out? I don't know if you'd have seen anything of Kane, but what do you think?
That's the thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know much about Kane Baker, and that's not to be disrespectful to him. I just, I'm being honest, I don't know a lot about him. But just from what I've seen from Aqib, and this guy's kind of, I wouldn't say he's a journeyman. He's probably a bit better than a journeyman. Decent kind of area level fighter. But give it 18 months, you'd be hoping that he's winning the British title.
Moving away from Aqib, a man who I know that you've kind of had a rivalry with him in the past, who's joined up with the gym, Dave Allen. What's he been like to have Dave in and around here?
It's been alright. The big lad, he's a good addition to the gym. He's a good character, good to be around. He's training hard. I hope he gets the head down properly. He seems to have so far. He's been running with us. He's been doing all the sessions and stuff. From listening to what he's done in the past. It seems like he's never really trained properly for a fight ever. And when you think about that, he's actually achieved a fair bit for not having, proper coaches or a proper fight. I think Darren Barker was the only time he ever trained properly for a fight, and we see what happened there against Brown. He stopped him in the third round or something. So if he stays switched on, I think he can do something, and with the help of Jamie and Nigel and just how they approach the game and how they approach each fighter individually and understand that different fighters have different needs, I think he's came to the right gym, and I think the boys will get the best out of him.
You obviously had your table tennis rivalry from a while back. Has that kind of been reignited here?
No, we've a table here, and no, he hasn't. I offered him a game the other day. We had it out. Assam, Akib's brother, reckons he's a player. He's worse than Dave Allen. Dave hasn't had the balls to have another game. It's the only one ever to give me a game. Like, I'm talking about in boxing here, right? So I'm not saying I'm a world-class table tennis player, but I don't think there's anyone in boxing that'll beat me at table tennis. Darry Matthews run me close once, who's not bad, but like David Hay has a table in his gym, plays it every day, smashed him. Ronald McIntosh smashed him. Dave Allen was only messing with him. They're all not very good.
I think you ain't come across somebody like me yet, Carl.
Are you good?
I'm okay.
See, listen, people say that. There was another guy, what's his name? Jimmy, British boxers he works for. He does another Asian kid. Yeah. He says he was like an area level like county player. Like when he was under 18 or whatever, smashed him. Shit. Did you ever play for your county?
No, I didn't.
I'm going to destroy you.
Did you ever play for a county?
No, but I'm beating county level players. So that's where the bar is.
Carl, just a few thoughts to quickly get your thoughts on. Obviously, it was announced either yesterday or the day before. Luke Campbell versus Ryan Garcia. What do you make of that?
It's a good fight. It's a very, very interesting fight, isn't it? I think that looking up to this point, Garcia hasn't really done a lot, if you look at the level of opposition, but he's definitely talented. He's very good. Campbell's going to be his most difficult fight. What's surprising to me is Luke Campbell keeps getting shots. Like, Eddie really likes him, I think, and he keeps getting these opportunities. Fair play to him for getting them, but it's an interesting fight. I feel like this Garcia kid, although there's a lot of hype about him because of all the social media stuff and how many followers he's got, I feel like he's going to be able to back up the hype. And I think it's a good fight, but I would edge towards Garcia.
What do you make of the belts in that division? So I asked Jamie, you've obviously got Loma, who's the franchise champion. Luke Campbell's going to fight for the interim title against Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney holds the normal world title, and then Jorge Linares and Javier Fortuna will fight for the diamond belt. What do you make of all the belts?
It's full of shit, isn't it? Like it's just boxing is really annoying me at the minute. Everything that's going on, it seems to be like these belts. This belt situation has been laughed at and mocked for a number of years now, and it just doesn't seem to be getting any better. It seems to be getting worse, in fact. Situation with drugs as well that's going on, and the bans that people are getting is not good, and people are, again, from other sports looking in at boxing and thinking, like, what is going on there? It's not good for the sport overall, but the belt situation is... It's like, we all know who the number one is, and that's the thing. I do, as a boxer. Lomachenko's the number one lightweight on the planet. So I know that, but to have all these other belts, and you've got interim champions calling themselves world champions. They're not a world champion. I beat Luke Campbell or Luke Jackson for an interim title. I wasn't calling myself a world champion after that. So it's just, I don't know, it needs to be sorted out. But I know, and all boxing fans know, that Lomachenko is the number one.
You obviously just quickly to touch on, you mentioned drugs there. Jarrell Miller failed another drugs test last week now. What did you make of that and what punishment do you think he should receive?
I think it's disgraceful, and I think that he should be banned for life. And I know that seems harsh, and I think anyone that fails a drug test first time should have a lengthy ban, maybe 2 years, and a hefty fine as well. These bans that last months, they're pointless because people only fight twice a year. So you can train while the ban's going on, and then as soon as the ban's over, you can fight the next day. So it doesn't really, there's not that many implications off the back of it. I think if you fail once, you should have a lengthy ban. I think if you fail twice, you should be out and banned for life, because dangerous sport, obviously. And I think what's going to have to happen is, and people have said this, but I think it's true, someone is going to have to get seriously hurt by a drug cheat before something serious happens. But I think the second time, you have to be gone. Like Miller, from what happened the first time, every single thing he was taking, he should have researched it. He shouldn't have taken anything. So to say it's an accident, it's bullshit to me. I don't believe it. I knew from I was an amateur that there was only certain things I could take, and if I was even getting prescription drugs over the counter for a headache, for example, I had to research it and to see if I was allowed to take it. I didn't take any. I don't take any supplements that aren't sport approved. They don't have the sport informed logo on it. These are simple things, and I've known that since I was an 18-year-old kid. So why is someone who's already failed the test failing again? I think you should throw the book at people like that. And that's everyone who's failed a drug test. And people say you never bring up the British fighters and all this here. All fighters who have failed drug tests should have hefty bans at the start. Second time, out forever.
Carl, we will leave it there now, and I will leave you to go on to enjoy the rest of your day. I know you're the last one in. It's been a pleasure to catch up with you. I'm sure I'll see you soon as well. Thanks for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thanks, mate.